everyone always asks me, do you like any new music? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, there's some stuff I do like. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off with an artist that I feel like we all either have or like, and that's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Good stuff. You know, if you're a Psych fan, you might like it. They always have cool color vinyl type of things. That one's a classic. That's a really good one. Hold on, let's get it back in here. I just listened to this one. I'm not like super versed on their stuff. Oh, did you have one, Sam?
Yeah, no, that's one of mine.
Oh, so that's the one I have here.
Murder of the Universe? It's their proggiest. Proggy, hard prog.
It reminds me a lot of Brain Ticket. I don't know if you've ever heard Brain Ticket.
Yeah. But, yeah, just a little bit.
It reminds me a lot of that. Mine is the blue, whatever. But anyways, so there. Oh, it's the same one. Twinsies.
Don't cross the streams.
Sam, talk about since that's one of your few.
Okay.
About King Gizzard, because you probably know a lot more about it than I do.
I actually, Matt would be the person to go to for King Gizzard. This is the only one I have that's an original press. I did pick up the reissue presses of Oddments and Float Along, Fill Your Lungs just a couple years ago. Those are really good represses, too. There was some worry. There were some bootlegs that were not good. So that might be one where reputable dealer is the way to get them. I was at Turntable Lab in New York, and they had just gotten them in. So I got the reissues there. I would love to have the color vinyl ones someday, but those were pretty pricey on the secondary market right after they were released. I haven't checked them out lately, but
yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I followed them pretty early on. Right after In Your Mind Fuzz came out was when I kind of hopped on board with King Gizzard. And I used to have Murder of the Universe. I got like an Australian first pressing, but I kept it sealed and sold it for a little pricey sum, and I have not picked up any of the reissues of that one because I'm not in love with Murder of the Universe. My favorite of theirs is Float Along, Fill Your Lungs. I don't remember if it's the first in their catalog or at least like one of the first two or three. At one time they had a twofer, a double album of Float Along and Oddments, and when they announced that they were reissuing them, I sold the twofer for $250 and bought a bunch of the reissue stuff. So I really like their stuff. They're a really eclectic group. They're really diverse. Like, it's all psychedelic, but some of it's psych garage, some of it's progressive, some of it's jazz influenced. Their newest one, Infest the Rat's Nest, is like a metal album. Their live shows are ridiculously cool. I've never been to one in person, but I've seen them on YouTube, and they also have it's not available to watch anymore for a limited time. They had a live video, like a full-length video of one of their live shows that's coming to DVD and Blu-ray soon. So that is well worth the watch when that comes out. So really good group, really good.
Cool. This is one you guys may or may not know about, but long story. I don't know if you guys know Smokestack Records, Hank. He's in the VC. He makes some videos, but we started talking, and he's like, yeah, I'm seeing this band in Asheville tonight. They're called Post-2000. I never heard of them. And he's like, you want to go see them? I'm like, no, not really. I'm not big on going to see shows and stuff, but I looked them up. They seem pretty cool, like modern psych. And so I reached out to them, and they let me interview them for my podcast. So I took Hank down to the basement with me and interviewed the band. They were really cool. But when they started playing, I was blown away how good they were. They were phenomenal. Their claim to fame is, Steve Harrington from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
He's in the band. So, but this is Post-2000. They gave me this and signed it and all this stuff. It's also pretty sweet. Pink vinyl. There's Steve right there.
Nice.
But he doesn't tour with them. He just writes with them and does studio stuff with them. But this is a really good one. If you like King Gizzard, it's along the same lines as it sounds a lot like King Gizzard in some rights. But modern psych and prog, but they're really, really good, strong modern psych band, I would say. But that's another contribution. What else you guys got?
So that guy's kind of like the Brian Wilson of the group. There are a few things that I'm showing that are kind of reissues, it's tough. You call them what you want, but this is one great documentary called A Band Called Death. Three brothers from working class Detroit, who this is really, really interesting proto-punk hardcore. They released one 7-inch that did nothing in, I think, like 75, and then we're done. The guy who was the guitar player, he died, and then back in like 2008 or 9, like people started to find this record of these three African American brothers from Detroit in this band called Death, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. The documentary is really good. They only ever recorded 7 songs as like what they were as an original group, although they have reformed obviously with another guitarist. But this got put out, I think, in 2009. It's just called Death for the Whole World to See, and it is killer, man. If you are into hardcore or proto-punk at all, like, it's some straight up, like, it's not screamo, because I don't like screamo, but it's just like really, really in-your-face vocals. Everything's cranked up to 11. It's awesome. Death for the whole world to see.
It's ahead of its time, and if my memory serves me correctly, what happened was the 7-inch got released, like you said, and did nothing, and someone found the 7-inch, and somehow it got back to one of the band members' sons in college.
Yes.
And he was showing his dad, like, this is insane. And he's like, and his dad's like, that was me. That's my band. And so that's how they got back together.
Yeah.
And his son, and I think his cousins or something, they have a band. Can't remember what it's called, but they go around and they play it. They play their music. So it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're his son's was in a hardcore group, and is like a dude who makes skateboard videos. And he was like, oh man, I found this cool group, Dad. He's like, yeah, that's me and your uncles. No. Yeah. Crazy. Nobody thinks their uncle was in a band. Or they know their uncle was in a band.
Yeah, but that's a sweet one. All right, what you got, Matt?
All right, I went with a little more off the beaten path stuff, and where the heck did I put them? They're right beside me. I'm fine, guys. I'm fine. I was painting my bathroom tonight. Maybe the fumes. I don't know. But
what's painting your bathroom mean? I'm not up on the record store owner lingo yet. Maybe
that's right.
Hey, you want to go paint the bathroom?
That's right. That's when you know. You know, that's the code to get in.
It's 420. You want to paint the bathroom? Come on.
Oh man.
Painting the bathroom. Okay, I'm not even gonna. Nope. Cut this part out. Just cut it out.
It's all good. It's all good. Anyway, I went a little more off the beaten path kind of stuff. I do have a lot of King Gizzard. I got a lot of Ty Segall, that kind of stuff. But an artist that I love, this is one of my favorite artists playing today, is Israel Nash. This is his album Rain Plans. I think it's his 3rd album. This is the album, like the first 2 albums that he'd had were kind of country singer-songwriter kind of stuff that are still really enjoyable, but this gets like Neil Young and Crazy Horse kind of psychedelic infused country rock, a little bit jam band, out there spacey kind of stuff. His follow-up to this one was called Israel Nash's Silver Season, which kind of sticks with the same kind of, again, like a psychedelic Laurel Canyon kind of vibe. And his vocals, he sounds a lot like Neil Young. And he's got another album after that called Lifted. That is okay. It takes a little bit of a different direction, but for me, Rain Plans and Silver Season are the 2 to go check out. Really, really good stuff. There's like 18 different pressings of this Rain Plans. There's like one from the Netherlands. He was really big in the Netherlands when he first started out. And so there's one you can get that has like a like, you know, the old school like viewfinders where it's got, you put the slides in and you look at the light and you click through it. I cannot find one to save my life, but if anybody's got one, hit me up. I'm willing to pay stupid money for it. But no colored vinyl. It's just on black vinyl, but it's pressed really nice. Comes with a download code. He's selling them on his Bandcamp right now, and I think like once a month through the summer. Bandcamp is like on a Saturday, a random Saturday each month. They're doing like all the fees go to the artist. They don't take any cut. So you got artists on Bandcamp that you like right now, go support them. So
cool. Now, are you guys pro color vinyl?
It depends for me. Like if there is a colored variant, I tend to collect it if it's new, just because it's, I don't know, it's just kind of a novelty, kind of a cool thing. And to my cheap setup and my bad ears, I don't really hear the difference. Some people are like, oh, that colored vinyl sounds terrible. I don't know, man. Maybe it does, but in my little room, it sounds just fine.
I honestly, I guess I'm not enough of an audiophile or not enough of a snob to be like, oh, it sounds like. I've had colored vinyl records that sounded great. I've had some that like are warped too. Like I don't know anything about it that makes them more prone to warping, but yeah, I've got colored vinyl that I listen to. It sounds great.
This is the only one I know of. I've got an original White Stripes Elephant on colored vinyl. Sounds like garbage. It's crackly. It's noisy. Like, it looks clean, looks pristine. It sounds terrible. Like, I will say this is the one colored vinyl I've got that I kind of wish I had a reissue on black vinyl. But
didn't you say, Matt, that that's like the word on that one though?
Yeah,
it's the white
like
the two, right?
Yeah.
Every copy has just some like it just doesn't sound good.
Yep.
Yeah, I like colored vinyl if it's like newer stuff that's like limited edition. I think it's cool because usually it's worth more money later. But picture disc, I'm a hard pass on picture disc.
Yeah.
No. I have a couple of picture discs because it wasn't something that was going to get a ton of pressings, and so I bought them to put them on my wall. But I don't think I've ever listened to a picture disc. I have no desire to.
Right. Okay, just wondering. We can move on. So my next one is this Graveyard. I don't know if you guys know this. You ever heard of this Graveyard?
No, new to me.
This is Hisogen. I think it's called Hisogen Blues. But yeah, it's phenomenal. This is one. It always comes on some pretty sweet colored vinyl, but this is some hard rock that's, Sabbath influence type stuff. Really great. I mean, this is one that this you should really check this one out. It's pretty iconic in the past. I don't know when this came out, 2011. But yeah, that's a killer one. Another one is this Admiral Sir Cloudsley Shovel. It's a mouthful. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like along the same lines, it always comes on some pretty sweet color vinyl. That's one. And then another one, this one's pretty common too. This one's Cadaver.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was pretty good. I think this is just on black, but yeah, this one's probably my favorite. It's very, very, very. It's just like listening to a modern Black Sabbath. It's killer. Really, really good. Strong, powerful, hard rock. It's got that drudgy, drony. This is highly recommended. That one's dope for sure. But I think I'm a little bit more in that hard rock camp than you guys are, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I like it. I like it hard.
I like it hard a little bit too, but maybe not as hard as you do. I don't know. We mentioned the White Stripes. I do think, with the exception of that one cool but unfortunately not great fidelity pressing of Elephant, I am a big fan of Third Man Records, just what Jack White does with the company. I'm not all in. I'm not a member of the Vault or whatever or anything like that, but there is a bunch of really cool stuff. Not only rare White Stripes releases, but also just rare stuff in general and cool reissues. But as far as new artists, Pokey Lafarge is one that I really like. So Central Time is the kind of hit, I guess, off of his self-titled record. I like this. It's very an attempt to replicate roots music, very central United States sounding. Again, the hit is called Central Time, like it's meant to be very kind of Midwestern and almost the southern part of the Midwest sort of thing. I like his stuff fine, and he's on Third Man. And then the Jack White solo stuff, Lazaretto, the weird pressing that plays from the inside of the disc out and has the like, depending on where you drop the needle, you can get different intros to I think one, maybe two of the songs. So that's kind of cool stuff being done with new vinyl. Jack White trying to be innovative, trying to find new ways to make it a cool, fun product.
Yeah, I like him. A lot of people, I don't know, there's mixed opinions, but I like him. I went to Third Man in Nashville, and it was, I mean, everything they do is really intentional, really good graphics. Like, they're definitely passionate about what they do, and like the company, like you said, I love the way he runs it, and I think he's done a lot to bring vinyl back to the younger
big, like as like the celebrity who's kind of at the forefront of the like bring vinyl back music. I mean, I think the first, like, one of the early slogans for Third Man was "Your turntable's not dead."
Yeah,
I've got that on a slip mat or something somewhere around here, so it's cool.
Yeah,
sure.
Totally agree.
All right, Nash, your turn.
All right, so this is a group that I got into shortly before I went to the Austin Psych Fest back in 2015, which was the last year they actually had it like as a festival itself on festival grounds. After that, they kind of split it up into downtown Austin at different bars and different venues around. But they had an album. It was only issued on cassette and CD, and they had a 7-inch of two of the songs. The group is called Mr. Elevator and His Brain Hotel. That particular album was called Nico and Her Psychedelic Subconscious, I believe is the right thing. Still on the hunt for a CD and hoping they press it on vinyl someday. But this is their follow-up album, When the Morning Greets You. I believe the main guy behind this is like the keyboardist in the OCs, if you're familiar with that Psych Garage group. This is on some blue, kind of translucent vinyl. It's just really good. It is keyboard-driven psych rock. They do like a lot of wah-wah on the keyboard, so it's got this kind of trippy swirling effect through the whole thing. Really good, kind of like almost like a Hammond kind of sound to the effects that they do on here. It's just really deep, trippy, kind of floaty, hazy psychedelic rock, and it's a lot of fun. Again, that Nico and Her Psychedelic Subconscious is like that's the one, but since it's only on like weird formats, the CD's not weird, but you know what I mean. It's not on vinyl. You can stream it on Bandcamp and stuff, but yeah, When the Morning Greets You is really good. They've got another newer one out, but it's more of like soundtrack kind of music, and I don't love it. But that one right there, When the Morning Greets You, that's a good one to get into.
Sweet. There's one I'm skipping because I know that one of you guys are going to talk about it. There's a couple I'm skipping. But like as far as like I'm really into singer-songwriter stuff.
Yeah.
Most people know that. I just got this in the mail, and I talked about it in my last video. It's called Bonnie Light Horseman. It's really, really good. Singer-songwriter stuff. It's a band, 3 people. Anais Mitchell, she has like 7 acoustic albums. Eric D. Johnson from Fruit Bats and Josh Kaufman. That's a really super good one. That's my favorite one that I've heard this year. Phenomenal. This one I also talked in my last videos. David Ramirez, Fables. That one's really good. Let's see. I'm trying to keep it quick here. And then like I don't know. It's like a country singer-songwriter, Americana type thing. It's not country, but it's got more of a southern feel to it. This is John Moreland, High on Tulsa Heat. This one's really, really good. He's a phenomenal songwriter, just amazing. And then,
that covers awesome.
That one's really good. And Justin Towns Earl.
He's great.
Son. Yeah, he's really, really good. This one's, I actually forgot I had this one, and I was looking for stuff, and I was like, oh man. So I need to get my crap in order here. I've got like stuff everywhere. I actually have like a Post-2000 section that's probably 100 records that I just didn't pull out. But yeah, those are some that I'm really super into. And then, you know, you got Chris Stapleton. And I don't know why I've got a whole stack of Jason Isbell over there I didn't pull, but Jason Isbell is probably my favorite artist right now in the past, 5 years. He's phenomenal. So
yeah, he's great.
That's my go. Go ahead, Matt. I mean, Sam. Whoever's doing it.
Along with King Gizzard, my other favorite like contemporary psych band is probably the Black Angels. I have not gotten into their whole discography just because I like this one, which is their most recent album, Death Song, so much. Every time I am in a record store where I'm looking for newer stuff, I go to the section for them and I grab one of their earlier albums, and then I always end up putting it back. I'm like, nope, still working on Death Song. Matt and I saw them live in St. Louis. He won tickets from like a St. Louis radio station. I don't think I'd anything but heard of him before when we went and saw him. It was an okay show, but I bought this there, and then I saw him like a few months later in Indianapolis, and it just blew my freaking mind. They have like old school 16 millimeter film projectors that are showing like oil drips and stuff like that, and vintage like news footage from the 1960s. If it's not vintage and they recreated it, then it's art in itself. Like they do the full on like crazy light show. So I've seen them twice. One time they were really good, and one time they were great. And I think the one time they were quote really good, their opening band had just been, whoever their sound tech was, just mixed them so loud that it made the whole concert experience. Like Matt and I like left the venue and went out to the bar, not to get drinks, just to be like, it's too loud in there. And so I think that kind of like, I don't want to say it ruined it. Again, they were really good, but I was mad at the person who was their sound tech, because I was like, you could put this at probably 3/4 of the volume, and everybody in here would still be like, this is a little too loud. Like it was bad. But the second time I saw them in Indianapolis, they were amazing. So Black Angel Death Song, cool little iconography in there. This comes with a poster. It's a double disc. It's a really, really well done press, really sturdy jacket. So check that one out. I really love it. I think it's a great record.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. I'm going to piggyback a little bit on Dylan's. I'm going to switch it up here. I had a bunch of Psych records pulled, but he went the singer-songwriter Americana kind of way, and I'm going to do the same real quick here. I'm not going to pull it out, but like Sturgill Simpson, Metamodern Sounds, Sailor's Guide, Sound and Free, all of those are great. He's phenomenal live, too, by the way. He had to cancel the rest of his show this year, but if he tours next year, you have to go see it. It's an insane show. And then my favorite artist today is Ray LaMontagne. This is God Willing the Creek Don't Rise, kind of his almost straight up kind of country album. His newer stuff is a little bit more psychedelic though, and I love that stuff too. And then Nico Case, if you're into like Lucinda Williams, Nico Case is a really good one to check out. This record's so good.
I have that at the shop, and I listen to it constantly. And the only reason I didn't pull it is because it's at the shop. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's so good, man. Wish I Was the Moon Tonight. Like running out of this whole album. I've got like 6 or 7 of her records. They're all great. I actually saw her open for Ray LaMontagne last year.
Ray LaMontagne.
It's the
got that Savannah like molasses rolling off your tongue.
My. This flower is
right on time.
Anywho, this is a newer one. This is on Third Man Records. This is Lily May. Other Girls is the name of the album. It is like kind of like Casey Musgraves style country pop, but with a lot of fuzz guitar on it as well. And this is on kind of like a marbled blue and pink vinyl. It's really good. And then a new one, I haven't even opened this one yet, but I listen to it on Spotify all the time. This is Katie Pruitt, Expectations. This just came out in February. It's her debut album. Again, kind of a Casey Musgraves style country pop, Americana kind of thing. but with like some Brandi Carlile-esque vocals. Yeah, Brandi Carlile too is another one I should pull stuff out. She's so good. She has this great cover of Bob Dylan's Don't Think Twice. Is that the one? Shoot, she did a cover of a Dylan song on an NPR live show. That is
she
so
does
good.
a lot of covers of a lot of songs.
That
she
John
did
Prine
one.
Did. Whew.
She did one of Joni Mitchell, Case of You, and I was like, that's the first thing I ever heard from her, and I was like, instant fan. Like, it was phenomenal. Look that up on YouTube. That's amazing.
Yeah,
but anyway.
She's so good. This is the last one I've got to show in kind of that vein. This is Faye Webster, Atlanta Millionaires Club. Got a really bad glare going on here. This is on gold-colored vinyl. She is from Atlanta and is like a big fan of the Atlanta hip-hop scene, but she's not hip-hop. It's like, again, sort of that kind of Casey Musgraves country pop, but it starts out like that, and by the end of the record, it's just a straight-up R&B album, but the transitions through each song, it's like, it's so subtle that by the time you're in that like R&B groove, you don't even realize you've gotten there until you're just like, man, this is nice. And there is like one kind of rap on one of the songs that a guy from Atlanta does on it. I don't like that track. It's fine, but the rest of the album is really good. And I won tickets to see her last year as well at Blueberry Hill in St. Louis, and it was a great show. It was me and a lot of couples, which was awkward. But
how come you didn't bring me?
I think you were gone or something because I asked you. And then, like, when I was at the show, I texted like 18 different people, like, I got another ticket if anybody wants to come, and everybody had other things to do. And it was like a last-minute contest went to. But I enjoyed myself. Had a good time.
Do you like any rap, Matt?
I do, but I don't have any on vinyl. I've got a lot on CD. A lot of 90s and early 2000s stuff.
She's a Bone Thugs dude.
Wu-Tang.
Aren't we all?
Wu-Tang for life.
Oh man, Wu-Tang for the children. Pew, pew, pew. All right, I've got one I really like is Tedeschi Trucks Band. So good, Derek Trucks, phenomenal. I met him once when I used to work at Guitar Center. He came in. I was like 17 or 18. It was magical. And then I've seen him live a number of times. He's incredible. And Susan Tedeschi's insane. Like, incredible. And then I showed this on my last video. It's a band called Spafford. This is extremely limited pressing. I think there's only 50 of these made. So good luck finding one. But, yeah, this is a jam band. Kind of along the lines of Mo. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mo, but this is really like some of the best jam band music I've ever heard. I know people knock it, but these guys can play the crap out of their instruments. It's amazing. So that's the jam band route. Hit me, Sam.
Okay, so this I got I got a promo CD of this into the radio station. And a lot of the promos that we get are blues-based stuff because the only show that we have that like plays physical media of new music is a blues show called Very Big Blues. Obviously, most college students, the stuff they listen to, they just pull it up on Spotify. So I try to go through the blues stuff the best I can. I put this CD in, and by the end of the first track, I had pulled up the cover and was looking for who do I email to get this on vinyl. Like, I really, really love this. This is GA20. They're a Boston duet who they're a little bit Black Keys, but maybe a little more Americana. I don't want to say they're hard to describe. They just cover a lot of stuff. Like, they cover a lot of I'm not saying cover songs. Like, they hit a lot of, if you like bluesy, rootsy, or rock music, you'll probably like Lonely Soul. This is their first album. Like I said, they're Boston area duo. I hope to hear more from them because I really, really enjoy this. And I sent a copy to both of you guys because they sent me 3 promos. And after I got it all digitized and got it in the system, I was like, well, don't have anything else to do with these.
It's really good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
I hadn't heard of it, and which is surprising because I'm a pretty big fan of the Coal Mine records. Coal Mine's amazing. anything that they like. I just got in with a distributor and ordered a crap ton of coal mine stuff just because it's amazing. Like I can recommend the heck out of that. But Black Market Brass, what is it? Was it Monophonics or?
Yeah.
And then this ditty here.
Yes.
While we're talking
man.
coal mine,
Dude,
I figured one of you guys would have shown it by now. American Love Call, Duran Jones and Indications. I talk about this a good bit. I think this is on color vinyl, but funny story. Somebody posted this record on Instagram when it first came out, and I listened to it on Apple Music or whatever, and I'm like, man, it's crazy. They for some reason I thought they had rediscovered this album like they did the Death record because it's so modern soul. You would not even know because look how they're dressed. They're really they look like they're from the 60s, but man, it is so good. It's phenomenal.
Amazing. I love that record. I was talking to Bo, Earhead 6 today, on the phone, and he was talking about Leon Bridges and was like, do you know anybody else current that has like that modern soul sound? I was like, Duran Jones, man, like they're incredible. Like the first track, Morning in America, is so good. The fuzz guitar on that track.
You guys are making me upset that I didn't ask. I gotta ask them for copies of this now, because I don't have a copy of it. But they did send me. Dylan, I'll send it on to you actually, because if you want, you can have it in the shop. They did send me a promo poster for that record. Cool. I've got it somewhere in my office. So next time I send you something, I'll try to remember to drop that in there.
Send it.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Matt, you got something?
I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got Monophonics here. I don't even know where to go next. This is a pretty good newer psych, kind of like almost jazz influenced psych rock, a group called Crumb. This is their album Jinx. This is their newest record. They had a double EP that is really good. Locket, and I think just a self-titled Crumb. I've got it behind me somewhere, but I'm not going to dig it out. Really good kind of floaty jazz influenced psych rock. If you're into that kind of dream pop psych stuff. One I really like, and I've shown this on my channel before, but it's been a long time. This is on the record label Beyond is Beyond. If you're into new psych, that label is one to go down the rabbit hole on. Everything they put out is amazing. This is a group called Jeffertiti's Nile. It's the bass player from Father John Misty's band. But this came out in 2013 or something, 2012, somewhere around there. Really good, bluesy, spacey psych rock. I've got quite a few records from that label that are all really good. If we're talking record labels, like you were talking with Coal Mine, Mexican Summer's a really good label as well to check out. They've got a lot of good, if you're into the kind of more folky stuff in the psych realm, like Quilt, the group Quilt, I believe, is on Mexican Summer. That's one from them. I don't know. Yeah, I've just got all kinds of stuff. My taste in new music there's a lot of new psych in my collection, but I've also got a lot of that singer-songwriter Americana kind of stuff. I've got a few indie rock things. This is one from 2012. It's by a group called Daughter. The album is called If You Leave. The song on here is Youth. Man, it's so good. This record is fantastic. It's indie, I don't know, just kind of rock.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's fantastic, man.
Yeah. This is one I actually learned about from you, and you posted it on your channel, and then you gave me a copy.
Yeah.
This is Julian Baker, Sprain Ankle. I think most people have probably heard of this, but you had showed it on your channel. Yeah, you got a couple copies. When it first came out, and I went out and started listening to it, and I was like, man, why doesn't anybody know about this? And then it was a month later, it really blew up. And
it did.
She has a really good Tiny Desk concert. If you're into that stuff, it's really phenomenal. But she's incredible. I mean, this little girl, she's got to be 75 pounds dripping wet.
Yeah.
And just
she's 5 feet nothing.
Yeah, and so powerful. It's good. That's really
love her guitar tone too. I've got it's the third official pressing or whatever on clear vinyl, limited to 1,000. And then I had a good friend Kevy Metal, if you were kind of an original VC guy. He went and saw a show of hers in Seattle, it was like the first show she had on the tour, and they had a tour exclusive red vinyl. And he texted me, he was like, "You want me to pick one up for you?" I was like, "Absolutely." And that one was limited to 200, and it sold out, like, I think before she even left Seattle. So
probably worth a lot.
It's up there a little bit. It's up there. Yeah.
Well, the last one I'll show, I don't know whose turn it is. Is it my turn?
It's yours.
Is it? Okay. The last one I'll show, I've got a bunch too, but this is what I picked out. The video's getting long at this point. But this one's called Sleeping at Last. This is a box set called Atlas, Year 1. So he has Year 2 now. But this dude is the most prolific son of a gun I have ever seen in my life. He puts out a new song like every week, at least once a week. Like if you're into Enneagram, I don't know. I think Enneagram's incredible. He did a song for every Enneagram type. Like this album was life changing for me. I don't say that lightly. Like it really, this changed my life. It's so good. Like it's phenomenal. So like I don't know. We were going through a huge transitional time in life when I discovered it, and I didn't have it on vinyl at the time. I just had it on a CD and listened to it in the car all the time. But it's like instrumental, ambient. I don't know. Like he does like scores for soundtracks and stuff, but also like does his songwriting is incredible. His lyrics are phenomenal. He's amazing. Like this guy is amazing. So, anyways, check that out. Sleeping at Last. I can't imagine anyone not liking it. There's a song called Saturn. That song is amazing. Like you gotta listen to that.
All right, Sleeping at Last, man. They need to issue this on vinyl. This is the CD. I think it was his debut, called Ghosts. It came out in 2003. My junior year of high school. Our sophomore year of college, Sam. He played the orientation weekend on the steps of Hogue Hall. We played a concert at our small little Midwest college. It was, my brother and I were like, Sleeping at Last is coming, and there were like a handful of people that were like freaking out over it. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen. It was just like us and like 20 people, and Sleeping at Last right there. And then my wife is super into Grey's Anatomy, and he does a ton of songs on there. Like he has a whole cover series.
Yeah, he has like 3 albums.
Oh, they're so good. They are so good. He's got a lot of stuff on vinyl, but some of it's kind of pricey because he does like limited runs on his website. And like you said, he's so prolific, it just comes out all the time. He's got some Christmas stuff that's so good. He's fantastic. If you don't know Sleeping at Last, check it out. You will love it.
So is this breaking news? There's something you like about Grey's Anatomy?
Hey, the soundtrack of Grey's has always been banger, but the show is a stinker.
There's a show on Netflix called Afterlife. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Yeah, and so that soundtrack, like they have great songs on there, but I'm telling you, that is the funniest freaking show. Oh my gosh. Anyways.
Sophomore year, September, I saw Sufjan Stevens before he blew up. Just dropping that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
This is the last one I'll show. This was also sophomore year of college. If I can find it, where's it at? It should be right here. There it is. I saw, still one of my favorite bands to this day, Copeland, Beneath the Medicine Tree. If you like, man, Copeland's another one. Like early to mid 2000s, kind of like emo kind of stuff, but man, it's so good. They played the Black Room at Greenville College, and so good. Another really good group, Love Drug. If anybody's familiar with Love Drug, saw them at Greenville College. Good stuff there. Yeah.
I didn't realize like how into the this is music that people at Greenville College like music you're into or were into. Yeah. I was heavily into digesting Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin for most of freshman year, so I unfortunately missed out on that wave.
Sam painted a lot of bathrooms in college, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy!
freshman year, you know. You're not even. It's basically high school, whatever, you know. Last thing I'm going to show is this. It is a reissue. It came out Record Store Day last year. It was like the last thing that I was like, if I see a copy, I might get it. And then a friend of mine was like, if you see 2 copies, grab me one. So I was like, I better get one. Still in the shrink, still sealed, haven't opened it yet. But the colored vinyl, the violet colored vinyl reissue of the Lost in Translation soundtrack has like shot up in value, like quintupled in value in just over a year. I like Sofia Coppola, and this is the movie that everybody loves of hers that I don't get. Like, I'm just like, for whatever reason, Lost in Translation is lost on me. I love other Sofia Coppola films, but I don't. So I picked this up. I have it. Anybody out there who has some amazing classic psychedelia but would want to do a trade, I would entertain offers for this thing any day of the week. I have no emotional attachment to it whatsoever. I just have it.
If anyone has any bathroom painting supplies,
that's right.
Virgin Suicides, baby. Way better movie. Beguiled. Way better movie.
Paintbrushes or rollers or super.
Whatever, dude. Dylan, you seem like the type of dude who had an incense burner that had was like a skull where the smoke was coming out of the eye holes or something.
I had an incense burner which I made in pottery class of a dragon.
Yeah.
And the dragon and it had smoke coming out of his nose.
Yeah.
He was going like this, and then smoke would come out of his mouth and out of his nose and out of the spikes on his back. It was amazing.
Sounds dope, bro.
I'm wearing my off drugs from fifth
maybe
grade.
The key of getting through college is painting bathrooms.
I don't know how I got this reputation. This is my character's being slandered here. I'm not appreciative of this.
How is it that the college dropout
there for a while, but they don't let just anybody play Quidditch. I mean, come on.
This has taken a turn for the worst.
That's right.
But what I was gonna say is I found I was at a yard sale like 6 months ago, and they had this August Burns Red record just out on the sidewalk. It was like 1 p.m. It had been sitting out all day in the direct sun, and I picked it up, and it was like hot, and I was like, I pull it out, and it's like on pink vinyl. It's like really cool. And I said, how much you want for this? They're like $20. That thing's rare. And I'm like, and they're like, it's the end of the day. We'll make a deal. How much? I was like, well, it's been sitting in direct sunlight all day, so I'll give you $1 for it. And they're like, okay. And so took it in the back of my car. I had a box of records back there that I just bought. Put it on top of it, and thought, screw it. Got it home, flat as could be. So, anyways, well, this has been fun, and
Yeah. I gotta get working like.
Very good to talk vinyl with people.
Yeah.
Not a lot of folks that I am connected with during quarantine are record folks, so I'm Jones and bad, man.
So while we're here, did you guys watch the Parks and Rec reunion?
Not yet.
Thing?
Don't say anything. Not yet.
Yeah.
All I will say is do not get your hopes up.
I kind of assumed.
All I will say.
Yeah.
Andy dies. He's murdered on camera. Sorry, joking. Anyways.
Here we go. We're good.
That was amazing.
My wife said, are you going to be long? I'm like, no, this will be like 15, 20 minutes tops.
Hey, at least we actually got you in your record room this time.
Yeah.